morning, and welcome to another episode of Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends at the Get Go Cafe and Market, where, Hunter, they have some quality fish sandwiches.
I'm a fan, man. I'm a fish sandwich fan. You know, it's a big thing in Pittsburgh, and not just on Fridays for me. You can catch me getting that fish on a Tuesday.
With ranch dressing.
Always ranch dressing.
He gets ranch dressing on everything. The Steelers have had a pretty active 72 hours, and you know, everybody's still waiting for the big shoe to drop, aren't they, though? I mean, bringing in Steven Nelson is nice, an expensive, experienced corner with 4 picks last season. Just waiting for more, aren't we?
Always. Isn't that the story of every Steelers free agency period, though? I feel like we should be used to it by now, but we still always hold out hope, so...
They have money to spend, some. It's not a ton, but you're looking at a situation, I think, where they still need to they have to find a way to get an impact inside linebacker, don't they?
Absolutely, and that's what everybody's looking at. You know, just speaking to Dale and everybody feels like that's where they're going in the first round of the draft, and potentially even trading up to get the guy they want. So that would be interesting.
Now, does getting Nelson necessarily mean, this is what I've been wondering ever since the signing, does that mean that they're just scratching corner off the list or scratching the other positions off the list from free agency and saying, you know, we're just going to save this for the draft?
It seems that way. That's definitely the feeling that I get, and then what I'm seeing on social, most people are saying, you know, that's how they're feeling they're going to do it. So we'll see. I like Nelson, man. I looked through some of his tape last night, and I was actually pleasantly surprised.
Actual interceptions in the secondary.
Weird to see somebody do it. I forgot that corners could actually catch the ball.
Corners
so that was cool.
Corners other than Joe Hayden are allowed to put their hand on the football. Now, Hunter, one thing that our readers have made crystal clear to us is that they're tired of hearing about Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. So let's talk about Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, shall we?
I'd love nothing more. Nothing more at all. Now, nobody's saying the Steelers are immediately a better team without them, right? Talent-wise, from a talent perspective. Yeah. Nobody's saying that.
Although they had an upgrade at running back in 2018. That cannot be disputed.
Statistically?
Nope.
He was better. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, he also showed.
That helps. When you show up to play the game, helps your stats a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
But the thing that I see about Le'Veon, obviously, the deal with the Jets is not quite as good as what the Steelers offer him. But the guaranteed money is better,
the
DK.
Guaranteed money.
What does that mean?
It means nothing. Same thing that it means for Antonio Brown, and yet people keep discussing it as if it's a thing. In any discussion of guaranteed money implies that your previous team was not going to pay you everything that was on your contract. That is borderline insane, and yet people are actually talking about this. What's the precedent for the Steelers not paying their star players everything that's on their contract? When did that ever happen?
I can't remember that ever happening. Now, my knowledge does not go quite as deep as yours on this, but I legitimately can't remember that ever happening.
I couldn't, and you know, in our little staff chat text that we have, Dale Lawley couldn't think of one either. For that matter, not only that, but their star players, they've always let them go out on their terms with a couple of small, crazy exceptions. Like, for one, James Harrison was, you know, lost his mind, kind of like AB did, and, you know, got himself out of town. And Troy Polamalu might have been nudged a little bit out the door, but if Troy didn't realize he was at the end of his rope, he probably should have.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's nothing to say here.
Do you think it's going to keep happening now, though? That's what people are also saying about this. Antonio Brown has now set the bar for players to just act out and get...
What bar did he set? What did he achieve? This is like I wrote the other night. What did he win here? He's with the Oakland freaking Raiders. You know? And Lev didn't exactly trade up in the standings either.
Yeah, that remains to be seen. But needless to say, let's end it with this. Antonio Brown or Juju Smith-Schuster, who has better stats next year?
The same guy that had better stats in 2018. Speaking of former Steelers standouts, consider me to be on Team James Farrior for the day here. You saw what he put on Twitter, right?
I saw the tweet.
That's how I feel about the Cleveland Browns. Show me something more than winning in February and March and whenever they tend to win things. Everybody talks about the Browns after they make a big trade or after they get a bunch of draft picks. This is the Browns. Look out for the Browns. Give me a break.
Are you suggesting that they're not going 16-0? Because from what I'm reading, I'm pretty sure they're going 16-0 next year. So if you're saying they're not, that would be a very Browns result here.
You know, all I'm saying is that you still have a lot of variables on that team. Their strong suit is the one part that you don't hear people talking about, I think, is their defensive front. Their offensive line took a massive hit when Joe Thomas retired, and their offensive line still wasn't any good last season. But they're adding star wide receivers and, you know, and now Baker Mayfield, all he's ever done is win. Yeah, in college. He's not going to be a very good quarterback on his back.
Right.
Wide receivers are going to have their capacities diminished by Baker Mayfield not having time to throw.
Right.
How does this not matter?
And it's a huge thing to me on that volume front because Landry is very much a volume-based receiver.
Yep.
Odell as well, and they're both got a little diva to them. How's that going to work? One of these guys is not getting the targets that they're used to. How will they react to that?
I don't know. We're trying to take the Cleveland Browns seriously here. We really are.